Hello everyone, welcome back to another modification review for Warhammer 2. Right now we're looking at a modification that adds in various legendary lords, but for now we're about to look at one lord, the Brass Bull, Taurox. He's one of my favorite characters in Warhammer, not because he's a deep character, but because he's a personification of pure destruction and violence. And before we get into his backstory, let's go look at what he's about to do. He's about to go after an entire Imperial patrol. They're out here trying to find him, hoping to put an end to his rampage once and for all. Midland is known for wanting and desiring to fight many Beastmen, largely due to Boris Todbringer, who has a rivalry with a Beastman lord. Let's go in now and charge right into combat. We're going to let them do their own thing and fight while we just watch them go into it. So, let's go ahead and charge in. There we go. Now while they charge in, we can begin to talk about the Brass Bull. So, Taurox, the Brass Bull, is a tank of destruction, a savage creature even by Doom Bull standards. He's a mountain of living brass with long curved horns and is always drooling blood. He used to be a chieftain of several Minotaur tribes and would stamp out any challenge to his authority, whether real or perceived. There was always blood around his hooves because of that. One night, an emissary of the Chaos Powers creeped into the mortal realm like some type of house intruder. The conduit was a dead rival of Taurox, and it had possessed the dead body. Before the creature could utter a single dark word, the Brass Bull would rip off its head. But right then, the Brass Bull would begin to spasm. It would shake violently, being seized by a vision of a world awash in blood and filled with bodies. He went completely mad, killing everyone in his tribe one by one. He's not killing little Gors or Ungors or just other weak beastmen like that. He's killing Minotaurs on his own. So, for 1 year and 1 day, he went across the land, killing anything he could find. Entire tribes of beastmen, witches, caravans, ogres, empire patrols, knights, two-headed giants, they all fell to his mad frenzy. They had no chance in fighting him at all. And don't worry, we'll look at his stats and all of that right after we go over the lore. But here they go. Losing everything to the Brass Bull doesn't really go well for them. Towards the very end, he found a town called Lightburg. He killed so many people here that there was a literal river of blood. He would have finally died of exhaustion, but the Dark Powers had plans for him still. Under a red moon, he was reborn, and now he was brass. He had a body of shining metal, a gift from the gods. He would never tire again, and he drank from the gore river he made. And now he's just killing. He's continuing to kill, and he never tires. He's just here to kill everything and everyone that he's able to kill. He's got two rune-tortured axes, which are magical weapons that count as flaming attacks, or they should. He's also got, of course, his brass body. In lore, he does have one weak point, kind of like Achilles, but he's just the Achilles part. Anyway, his transformation was really incomplete. There was a consequence for killing a demon so quickly, or just killing one in general. Out of spite, he left him one weak point under his neck. So if you want to kill him, that's where you've got to go. But if you look at it, that might be relatively difficult. I don't know if you could easily do that. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit and just watch him kill everyone. That's really what we're doing right now, just watching one Brass Bull take out an entire group. The Minotaurs are just there because, I don't know, they should be. Now we can go look at his stats before we just watch him fight more. So over here we've got Apocalyptic Vision, which ties into his mad vision of the world. In fitful dreams, he sees the end, the world collapsing in on itself, leaving nothing but ashes and aberration. More leadership and more melee attack, we'll take that. Bloodlust, we'll use that too. But we can't use it on Brass Bull, we can use it on a War Bull though. There we go. And then Rune-Tortured Axes. Yeah, that's all directly from the army book too. That little description. But over here, the blood is the prize, the blood is the prize, the blood is the prize. I believe you. Go look at my bulls over here. They're just going to buff up too, but let's go look at his stats now. So outside of the buff, we're looking at 89 melee attack. He's got flaming attacks as he well should, and if you look at it, he's really not overpowered. He's very strong, correct, but 450 weapon strength is really not that overpowered. Now here's a big part though. His armor piercing is incredible. 300 armor piercing damage. That will violate anyone who has armor at all. He's got a charge bonus of 81, it's very strong. Over here, a melee defense of 38, a melee attack of 65, which is actually very high. A speed of 72, so he won't be able to catch your fastest creatures, but he can catch a lot. You won't outrun him. Leadership of 60, armor of 140. That's pretty high too. What else do we have over here for him down here? Let me go look at it real quick. Brass body, here we go. So he's able to regenerate health too. He's weak against fire damage. He has perfect vigor. And let's go look over here. Primal Fury, a very common thing, but it's just a augment for himself. We've got Blood Greed, another very common thing for Minotaurs. Immune to psychology, as he well should be. Encourage causes fear. Now, I would think he should cause terror just because of the sheer nature of a brass bull, but evidently not. Let's go ahead and buff him up again. Let's let them do their thing as we watch them just continue to fight. I haven't done this for a while, but yeah, we are just going to watch them fight. It's a thing that I usually do every so often where I just kind of sit here and I go, yeah, that's pretty cool looking. I'm very interested in actually one day playing as the Brass Bull. And the modification here is incredibly well made. He adds in a bunch of new agents, a bunch of new lords, and you should definitely check it out. It's one of my favorite modifications that I've not been able to use yet. I do plan on using it in the future. It does require the faction unlocker, and I believe that like that community support mod, I'm not really sure what it's called, but you'll know it because it'll tell you that you need it whenever you try to download it. But yeah, things like that really add to the game. He adds in a bunch of new lords for the Empire. We're talking about the Hunts Marshal, we're talking about elective counts, all of that, even leaders for Kislev. These are things that can really flesh out how you play your game. It's not like you're fighting some lame little unnamed lord. No, you're fighting people with lore and backstories, and I want to talk about all of them. If you would like for me to go over more of these characters, I could definitely do that. We can come up with a scenario for them to fight in. Not a simple one like we're doing now, or we could, but either way, we can change it up for sure to do things like this here. We can go ahead and buff them up again. I usually use a spectator mod to give control to the AI so that they can fight as the units here. It looks like my Gore Bulls are beginning to lose it. He's got over 225 kills. We haven't buffed him the entire time. He is fighting a lot of large creatures, or not large, but anti-large units. And that's why he's taking a lot more damage, not to mention there's just a lot of them. You know what, we could move out and then charge back in. We are losing one of our bulls, but if you look at it, they've lost a lot. But if we get out of here quickly and then we charge back in, we'll get them. It won't be that difficult, I think. Here, give him more leadership. Use Foe Seeker. You're going to be unbreakable now. Yeah, just run out and we're going to watch him charge back in. It should be pretty good. Okay. Come over here. Charge back in. You'll come over here and go after that group. Now we can zoom in. I could not imagine fighting as an Imperial soldier having to fight a creature like that. I mean, I would use artillery. I would use so much artillery, I would leave a crater where he once stood. That might be like my only way of taking him out. I would like to imagine... I don't actually know his fate in the end times. I'm sure one of you know, but I don't actually know what it is. I didn't really read the end times. All of my knowledge about the lore in the game comes from pre-end times because I just have a personal problem with the end times as a whole. Some of the conclusions were just not right. Not right at all. And it's not even a... I don't know, man. It just wasn't a great way to end everything. If you had to end things, there was a better route to go than some of the plot twists, quote unquote, that they delivered. Alright, so he's still going. Now let's go check if he's tired. No, he's fresh. Now that's a really important thing to note too. When you tire, you're a little bit ineffectual in combat. However, he's not tired at all. He's going to be able to fight fresh the entire battle. So the longer a battle goes on, you're going to have units who are very tired, who are not able to keep up, but he's going to keep on going. He's going to keep on fighting. Now they're about to fully destroy the Gore Bulls here, who are actually pretty tit for tat when it comes to kills. They even have a bit more strength than he does. Well, I mean, you are using Deadly Onslaught, but if you look at that, what a huge buff to your weapon strength whenever you do use it. It does look like they did manage to beat him, but that is completely fine. The fact that he was able to hold on his own like that was fantastic. Let's go ahead and end the fight. So it does look like he does have a limit on how long he's able to fight due to morale or leadership or whatever. But that is the Brass Bull, a very cool character that I'm glad is in the game. I hope that you enjoy that little modification review. I went over some lore. I went over, you know, the mod as a whole. So go ahead and leave a like down below. If you want to see other types of fights, other types of units from this mod, then let me know and I'll be sure to check them out and we can talk about their lore and set up battle scenarios. If there's any mod that you think I should check out, again, let me know down below and I will be sure to do that. So as always, until then.